Alrighty. Good evening, Ashley, and thank you for coming on Sports Talk with C.
Good evening. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming and, agreeing on short notice. So tell us who you are and where you're from.
So my name's Ashley Cross. I am originally from Mississippi, but I currently live in North Carolina. The military brought me here, so I've planted roots, and North Carolina is home now. So
Okay, so guys, I'm gonna give you a quick introduction of how I came to meet Ashley. I did put up a post about needing a referee to interview because I did have some questions, and here we are. So, are you currently a ref now?
yes, I am. I
Oh,
currently referee high school basketball here in North Carolina, and I also referee travel basketball AAU.
okay. So before we get into that, first, where did the love for basketball come from?
I have been playing basketball all my life. My dad and all seven of his siblings all played basketball. I think five of them played collegiate basketball. So it's been in me since I was a little girl. Um, I played high school ball, I played college ball, and I've been a head coach for high school. I've been an AAU coach,
Ooh,
and now I'm refereeing. So
okay.
all facets of it.
All facts of it. And what drew you to become a referee?
So let me tell you, I um, I was a head coach for a high school, and I'm very passionate. And in the town that I was a head coach for, they kind of have a feeling that women should, be ladies and be nice and sweet, but that's not how I get down on the sideline. I'm very animated. I'm very passionate. So the athletic director didn't like that so much. So he released me. At that
Oh,
time, yeah, absolutely. At that time, I was coaching my daughter. She was in the ninth grade. So I moved her to a different school because, of course, I didn't want her to play there anymore. So I
no.
moved to a different school. And in order to continue to be a part of the game and affect the game, I didn't want to go to another school to coach. I would rather referee so that I can catch her games and still, be a part of the game. So, yeah, that's how I changed over.
Whew, I don't that's a tough one. What has been the hardest transition from going from player to coach to referee?
So from coach to referee player, it's an easy transition. But
Okay.
from coach to referee, I find myself coaching the kids on the court when I'm refereeing. I'm just like, like this is how you box out, or
Right.
don't try to attack the basket all the way. You got big girl, you got 6'5" girl down there, you 5'2". You don't want to attack all the way. Just stop and pop. And I realize that I'm not supposed to say that because it seems as if I'm giving one team, an advantage over the other. But it's just I'm still coaching and trying to mentor the kids as I'm refereeing the game. So once I figure out how to just stay in my place as a referee and take the coaching out of it, I'll perfect it.
And how long have you been refereeing?
This is my fifth year.
Fifth year?
Yeah.
Ooh. And what has been thus far has been your most joyful moment as a ref?
Oh, I have so many really good moments, but
Ooh.
I do. So a friend of mine is a college coach,
Okay.
and he's actually in Kentucky. And after a playoff game that I refed, he called me and he said, the coach on that team that you just refed for said that that was the best game that she's had all season. Like there were no issues on the court, everything flowed as it should. And, I didn't even remember who this lady was, I mean, because I'm so engaged in the game, I'm not looking at who's in the stands, or a lot of times I don't even know which team is up or down. So, the fact that I'm just kind of having tunnel vision and focused on the game and doing the right thing, and then I get the kudos afterwards, that just, I don't need the kudos. I'm not there for that at all. But, when it comes, it's just a little cherry on top.
I know it's only been, just 5 years, but the game changes every day, every year. So have you
Mhm.
seen any changes through the past 5 years from starting to now that you had to adjust to with the way the game has changed as far as like making calls or the style of being a ref, anything like that?
So, what I've seen from social media is that, well, let me say high school refereeing is a lot different from AAU refereeing.
Okay.
Um, Here in this association, that's what we call our pods, like our referee pods. And
Okay.
so this association is very professional. The guy who's over all the referees here, he doesn't tolerate any unprofessionalism from his referees. You're not going to talk back to any parents or any fans in the stands. That's just not a thing. If you have an issue with them, you go and grab an administrator, and they are removed from the game. Period. Point blank. AAU basketball, from seeing on social media, fans in the stands are fighting
Ooh.
referees, and and it's so much talk in the stands. And that's what I don't know if that's a change or not. It's probably been going on for quite a while, but it's getting worse. Like, people really think that they can disrespect you as a referee when they're in the stands for AAU basketball, and it's difficult. That's why a lot of people don't do it, and we're short officials because people don't want to have to be degraded by people in
Hmm.
the stands who, number one, can't do it, who don't do it, and who won't do it, and then they
Right.
just want to yell and curse at us and expect us to be nice and professional for $40 a game. It just doesn't work
Right.
that way.
Right. And some of those fans can get a little, and parents too. Parents can get a little crazy as well.
Yeah.
Um, what do you do in situations where it's a tough call? How do you handle that? What do you tell yourself? Or like, how do you what does the referees do to come to a final decision or a final call, I should say?
Indeed. Okay, so a lot of that is about pride. A lot of referees, if there is a difficult call, if they miss
Hmm.
something, they're too prideful to admit that they missed it.
Hmm.
My favorite saying is, I'm glad that you think I'm a superhero, but I'm not. I'm human. And I might have blinked and missed the call.
Right.
Like, so, I'm very human. And that happens often. I mean, I couldn't see it because some kid is in the way, or like I almost stumbled and fell, so I didn't see it happen. And my thing is to be personal to the coaches and let them know, hey, my bad, coach, I missed it. And if I did miss a call, the first thing I'm going to do is look at my partner and see if they got it. If they didn't
Okay.
get it, easiest thing for me to do is call alternating possession, which is a jump ball. I mean,
Okay.
that's the easiest thing in the world to do. And I think everybody can appreciate that. If they're not in the moment, if they're not emotional. Hey, coach, I apologize. I missed that call, but I'll do my best to try and make it up next time. And then if myself nor my partner saw it, then we can do a jump ball. And I think that'll solve it. It solves it 90% of the time. Well,
That's
actually,
awesome.
100% of the time, but coaches don't like it. 10%.
Way. I mean, with those numbers, you gotta give it some point. We've been seeing a lot of flopping in our day now. How do you handle that as a ref?
A lot of what, clapping?
Flopping.
Flopping. Okay, so there's a ref in our association who is a black and white referee. So everything is by the rule book. I don't think he's ever played a day of basketball, but he reads that rule book like it's the Bible. And honestly, I didn't know that it was a thing. But if a kid flops and it's a
Hmm.
clear flop, that is a technical foul.
Wow.
It's a technical foul.
I
And I
never knew that.
I said that. And it's a part of the game for me.
Hmm.
And I understand different facets of the game. So I am not quick to give out a technical foul. I am not. I hate that's the last resort. So I like to talk to the guys or girls and tell them, hey, don't flop. Like, that's a tech. And of course, people don't know that. but you have to tell them, and they're young in the game at this level. I'm at high school, so they're young in the game, and I didn't even know it. So there's things that they don't know, and once you've told them once or twice, they get it. And but I ain't mad at the flop. I mean, attempt.
Sometimes
Make the attempt.
Sometimes you need that turnover, try and make up on the other end for what you just did.
Make the attempt. My daughter is she's about 5'4", 115, 20 pounds. And she's always trying to take a charge. Always trying to take a charge. And a lot of times she's like, oh, this girl's too big. So she's just gonna take flop and try and take the charge. I ain't mad at that. That just is this effort and they're trying to do something, but I ain't mad at it.
You spoke about technical fouls and you said that you don't like to give them out. I was at a game and I just want you to clarify this.
Okay.
How many shots is a technical foul?
It's 2 shots.
Wait, is that always been a thing?
It's 2 shots.
Wait, that's always been a thing, like for real?
It's 2 shots.
Wow.
It's 2 shots and possession.
I always thought like that came with like, the upgraded tech, I never knew on just the technical foul, it's 2 shots. I seen it this year and I was like, wait, when did a technical foul become 2 shots? I was so confused. That's why I'm not a ref or a basketball player. I'm a fan.
Yeah. It's 2 shots, indeed, and possession of the ball.
Okay, guys, you hear that? Take notes.
Right.
And you spoke about that you love passion. As a ref, do you feel as though that there's sometimes or not too much passion on the court when playing a basketball game?
Sometimes it's false motivation. Sometimes they're trying to show out, the guy's got his girlfriend in the stands or, like kids act a little different when their dad comes to the game or whatever, and you're all in some kid's face after you got an and one or whatever. I think that there's a level of passion that needs to that we need to stay in between. I was refereeing a private school game. Okay. And the young lady, I know this young lady, she's a really, really good basketball player. But of course we know the level of play in private schools it's not equivalent to public school. Correct. So this she should be playing in a public school, but because of their finances, her mom, she's afforded the opportunity to go to a private school. And she's light years better than the rest of the kids. So she got an and one on a layup. And she was like so fired up in this little kid's face, like this little girl's face who probably never touched a basketball after high school. And it was just like over the top. It was just, I was like, kid, relax. Like you didn't
have to do all that.
You didn't have to do all that. Like you didn't dunk on like a 6'5" boy or like chill out. This kid's gonna go
too extra sauce.
Yeah, it was too much. I'm still not going to give a technical for that. The only reason I'm giving out techs is for disrespect.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just not going to disrespect me. Anything else, we can talk about it. We can work it out. But me, you won't disrespect. So
that's right.
Don't give out techs for passion. I'll talk to the kid and bring them down a little bit. Yeah,
that's what's up. I like that. That's fair. And as far as, you being a player, you being a coach, and now being a ref, do you feel like also being a player and a coach has helped you become a better ref or helps you see the court different or understand the players and it helps players have more respect for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's different facets of the game that you understand better when you've been out there as a player, when you've been out there as a coach. I do know that as a coach, I cut up pretty bad on the referees. I mean, I cut up on the referees. But once I became a ref, I realized that I had no clue what I was talking about. Like there's several things that I was so wrong about. And our head ref, like he has us in classes on Sunday and we go to clinics and things like that.
Oh, wow.
And we're learning more about the game. And when I'm learning stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I cursed that ref out for no reason. Like that, I was absolutely wrong. So when you've been at different levels, And like for me, like when I see a coach that's passionate, I'm not gonna tech them up because they're passionate. I know that that passion is not towards me per se, but more so for for their kids on the court. They're hoping to get a fair game, you know. So definitely I understand the game better because I've been on different levels for sure.
That's good. And I love, and I never knew that, refs took clinics
Oh
that
yeah,
they learned, outside of, being at the game. Never knew that.
yeah.
Um, that's what's up. See, this is why I do this, because not only do I get to learn, but others get to learn as well. I wanted
Mhm.
to ask you a question. If you had the opportunity to ask a question, talk to, train with, learn from any ref, who would it be?
Let me tell you something. So I was watching the NBA finals. I don't remember when it was. I'm sure Golden State was playing, but it was a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago or so. And I saw these refs on the court,
Mm-hmm.
and they were so passionate, so professional. So like it was just straight tunnel vision. I have a job to do. I'm gonna get it done. And I was watching those refs. So I got their names because I heard the commentators say their names. So I went to their social media, and this one guy, I went to his social media and I requested him as a friend, just like that. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I requested him as a friend, and then I inboxed him and I was like, yo, I'm this young up and coming referee. I'm very passionate about the game. If you can give me any type of information, or are there any clinics that you put on, or so on and so forth. Me and this guy have been in contact ever since then. And I couldn't believe he answered
Wow.
like on Facebook Messenger. I couldn't believe he answered my message. And he's been very professional since then. He's been willing to help me progress in the game. You know, and that was just mind blowing to me. And what I realized is that they are easily accessible, and like people don't realize that refereeing is just as big a deal as the NBA players. Like, and I'm telling my daughter, like, okay, you're small, but she's going to play with Virginia State next
Oh,
year.
nice.
So she, she's got some game, but I don't think that she'll go to the next level, NBA, or maybe even play overseas. But to still be a part of the game, why not consider refereeing, like
Right.
coming to the side of it? And we've got the contacts. I mean, and this guy has been absolutely amazing. I mean, he answers all my questions. He gives me all the guidance that I need. So that's pretty awesome to me.
Oh, that is what's up. See, when you get that just one person that puts aside like their pride or the fact that they're an NBA ref,
Oh,
it's absolutely it makes you want to keep going in the field that you're doing. It's like, yep, this is where I belong. I'm doing something right.
yeah.
Speaking of watching games and finals, do
Okay.
you believe that certain calls should be held or not called during a certain type of game, say a playoff game, as a
Yeah.
ref?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I think so. Different levels of play. And
Okay.
not necessarily even different levels of play, but you've got certain kids or players that fans come to see. And it's not fair, but it's all politics. Sometimes
Hmm.
it's not fair, but it is politics. But people come to see certain players, and you're a little bit more lenient with that player. And this is the unspoken rule, so if you I was refereeing a championship AAU game last Sunday, and this kid had 4 fouls in the third quarter, and I heard his
Ooh.
coach say, man, you got 4 fouls. And I was like, hey, he the best player on the court. So yeah, and so I don't want to, so kind of like the Caitlin Clark situation. Like I don't want to sit that kid out, because at that point we're gonna be like, it's gonna be a snooze fest. So I'd
Mm,
rather this kid stay in the game and impact the game the rest of the game than to give him his fifth foul. Now, of course, I'll call the fifth foul if he's like hacking or like
right.
knocking somebody
A
out.
foul that you cannot call.
Absolutely. So if it's a petty hack or reach that we would typically call on another kid, then we don't call it on that kid. And that's really an unspoken rule. And that happens way more often than you think. So yeah, I think different calls are different. for different times within the playoffs.
Okay. And your type of refereeing or your style of refereeing, if you could describe that in one word, what would it be?
Coaching, mentoring. Mentor. That's my thing. While I'm on the court, I'm talking. I mean, I am talking the whole time. Usually the ref kind of keeps their whistle in their mouth. But I'm holding my whistle just so that I can talk to the kids. Like, get out the lane, get out the lane. Hey, hands straight up. Hey, don't reach, don't reach. So everything is a coach for me. And I'm doing it on both ends of the court. So one coach can't say that I'm, acknowledging one team more than the other. So I'm doing it on both ends of the court. So I think I'm still trying to mentor the kids in the heat of the moment, because coaches can't coach on game day. You really can't. I mean, you're supposed to coach your kids at practice. You're supposed to be teaching them all these things at practice. And when it comes down to game day, I mean, you got 30 seconds in the timeout to tell them how to adjust. But when they're on the court, a lot of times they don't hear you, or they don't want to hear you. They hear you and they ain't listening.
Right.
So like, shoot the ball, and they attack the basket, so you can't really coach them at that time. So I'm out there coaching your kid for you a lot of the times.
Well, that's good though, because sometimes, there's some things that, there's some coaches out there that regardless if they're coaching, they're really not coaching, So, so that is always great to have another coach or mentor out there. And what are your plans in the future? Or, do you see yourself continuing as a ref, or, do you see yourself trying something new in the future?
So I appreciate this side. I thought that my passion was coaching, but it seems that my passion is basketball. Okay.
Love it.
So any way that I can impact the game is good for me. I've got this light in my face. So let me try and switch the view a little. Okay. So as long as I can impact the game in any capacity, that works for me. But I really like refereeing. I like that I can impact immediately and then go home and not have to worry about parents outside of the court. Okay. Like, I mean, I gotta hear the parents while the game's going on, but when the game's over, I don't have to deal with the parents anymore. And then I also get paid immediately. So that's always a good thing. Like,
always.
The immediate pay is always a good thing. So what's next for me? I try to get into, like I said, that there's always clinics and educational pieces for us. So have you heard of Boo Williams?
What was the name?
Boo Williams?
No.
Okay, so it's in Hampton, Virginia. Well, Boo Williams is a guy who is an athlete and was an athlete, and he has this facility in Hampton, Virginia, and it's a huge spot for AAU basketball. So they go out there and they use his gym, and I mean, teams from all over the country come in there. Canada, they come in there and they play. So this weekend is opening weekend at Boo Williams, and college coaches are there watching all these girls play, and they also have referees there who are attempting to move up to the next level. So if you want to referee for college, you want to go to Boo Williams and get what's the word? So you got all these people selected, basically. So all these people are watching you and
the combine for refs.
Absolutely. Indeed it is. Yeah. So you got college coaches watching the kids, and then you have referees watching the referees to see if they think you have the look, if you pass the eye test, and if you pass the knowledge test, and they'll select you to go and ref for college. So that's definitely the next step for me. I'm hoping that I can move to the next level.
Oh, that is what's up. Well, I wish you all the best of luck at Boo Williams Combine. That's exactly what we're going to call it for you. I would love to see you reffing on a college court for sure. And thank you for coming on Sports Talk with C. Ashley. It was dope chopping it up with you about reffing, because I definitely asked some questions for myself. And like I said, thank you again for coming on Sports Talk with me.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Bye.